Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with talking coffee, tea, thoughts, and conversations with the Biz Chicks. I'm here with my friend and colleague, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Terralina from California Cover Ups, and we are the Biz Chicks. And we just want to welcome you to our conversations today. So, Fran, what are we discussing today?
So, what is normal anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
I guess there's a story about how this came about. I was listening to a broadcast by Earl Nightingale.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a long time ago. For all y'all who don't know, y'all can search him out. Probably just Google Earl Nightingale. And he had this one episode. He was talking about um, normal and what people considered normal. What is normal behavior?
Mm-hmm.
What is normal? And in the course of the conversation, uh, normal is different for everybody.
All
So
right.
it, we can talk about normal just being everybody is doing it. Well, is that normal?
Hmm. You know,
Because I know you'll go look up the definition of normal and let us know what that all is all about. But normal is different from everybody. Everybody has their own unique normal.
and the question is, are we going to allow people to be their own normal?
See that
And when we do that, it it can be it can help you de-stress. I think you know what I mean? It can take away the stress in your life because one of the things I think that we stress about a lot is what is going on with our loved ones, our children, our spouses, our nieces and nephews, people in our circle, our friends, because we're so concerned about them having the best for themselves that we begin to define what is the standard,
mhm,
and we set the standard according to what we think is
normal. So I have uh, I googled the definition of normal.
Mhm,
Normal means conforming to a standard or common type, or being usual, typical, or routine.
mhm.
For example, you might say it was just normal, average, it was just a normal or average day, or her temperature is normal. Synonyms of normal include ordinary, usual, average, typical, routine, commonplace, common, and standard. So here's the thing, normal is not normal for everyone.
And here's the question: does normal change?
What is normal? Because based on this definition, normal for you, what's normal for you? What's your way? What's your type? What's your typical routine? What's your average day? What's your ordinary commonplace? What for you? It's about an individual. And I think a lot of times when we talk about normal, normal comes to mind for the entire society.
Hmm.
And
At
it's
large,
not. Normal is an individual case.
if we allow it to be.
Right.
But when um, society decides that they are going to define and um, marshal normal according to their definition,
Right.
then things get interesting.
So normal is what's normal for you, the individual. Mark has a comment here, and he says, as a member of the LGBTQ community, I, like other members of this community, am extremely mindful
Mhm.
of the word normal.
Mhm.
So, in our talk today, or this conversation that we're having, normal means what's normal for you,
Mhm.
not normal as a whole or on the grand scale of things. Because I think a lot of times we tend to try to make it for the masses. I was talking with somebody about the homeless situation, because you can see a lot of evidence of homelessness, but is it really homelessness, or is it something else going on? That's another rabbit trail that I will go down later. But somebody was saying, well, we can just build this and blah blah blah, and I'm like, it's an individual. All of these cases that we're talking about,
Mhm.
each person has a different reason for why they are where they are. So you cannot just blanketly call it homelessness and not understand that it's all individual. You got to figure out what each individual is dealing with. Is it a mental health issue?
Mhm.
Is it just an economic issue where it may just be for a short period of time? Is it I just choose to live outside?
Mhm.
These are all individual issues. Normal is an individual state. What is normal for Terralina is not normal for me. Now, we
Mhm.
may do some stuff that we together like to do because our normals are interacting on that particular point,
Mhm.
like swimming. Okay, I'd like to swim. Terralina likes to swim or get in the water or do whatever. But it interacted on that
Mhm.
point. I don't like to sew.
Mhm.
So since I don't like to sew, that is sewing is not a part of my normal.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's not who I am. That's not what I do. Mark has a comment. He says, we love to use broad brushstrokes and application to people's challenges. There are often commonalities, but personal variables matter because our story is intrinsic to who we are.
Absolutely, Mark. And this is where I was going with this. A lot of times we are trying to press people into our mold of normal. And is that is not it's not going to work, for one thing, because each one of us is an individual. And the other is we have to be considerate. We say we're here to allow people to be who they are.
But do you really?
If it offends you, now what? Now you want a law? Now you want to, do you understand? And I know that sounds pretty, you know, broad, but that's how we get laws. People decide, okay, I don't want people parking within 15 feet of this, or I don't want people to be allowed to park in my neighborhood unless they have a permit. Da 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 da.
And so now we have, okay, what's normal? And now we do normals by communities. What's normal? Like if you're living in an HOA, you agree to that all the, and I, because I work in real estate, I have seen where stuff has changed,
Mhm.
that the HOA rules no longer fit nicely in society,
Mhm.
because there was a time where you couldn't allow a certain color into that neighborhood, and it was in the CCNRs, which are the covenant, uh,
Rules and regulations.
yeah, covenant something and restrictions, CCNRs, covenants something restrictions for that neighborhood. These are the people who developed the neighborhood who have been dead for maybe 80 or 90 years now, but they wrote it in there that certain people couldn't come into the neighborhood. And so that's what they wanted for their normal. But
Mhm.
then now, because that is illegal, it has to, that part of that document, even though the document still exists, it is, there's an addendum or amendment in the document stating that that particular paragraph no longer applies, blah 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 blah, because those people tried to have a particular normal for that neighborhood or
Mhm.
for this development.
Mhm.
One of them was like, you can't park your car on the grass.
Mhm.
Okay, but there were others that were more um,
Restrictive.
very restrictive. And it's just really interesting. The normal was that if you were a woman, you could not purchase property without you didn't purchase property on your own. My mother-in-law had to have someone represent her to purchase a house, and this was in 1970 something.
Well, it hasn't been that long. I can remember they wouldn't sell me a car in the 70s. I'm the one with the job.
But as a
So
woman, you
it
could not.
hasn't been that long.
It really has not. You could not buy a car. You could not buy a house without a man,
Mhm.
or you had to have somebody buy the car
With you.
with you. I was like, that is so crazy now. But that was a normal thing to do. And I don't know who thought of them rules, but okay.
Well, but I remember when was it the Taurus? What was it? The Saturn? Something
Mhm.
came out and
It was a Saturn.
they were women friendly. In other words, there wasn't going to be any haggling. We'll actually sell to you.
At the price that was on the car.
Mhm.
There was no, and so it was just, it's just interesting, um, what is normal and what is not. And all we're here to do is to remind us that normal is an individual choice. What's your normal?
Mhm.
What would you, what's your normal routine? Some people get up and have coffee, then they go for a walk, and da 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 da. How they conduct business is your normal. What
Mhm.
is your particular normal? And then there will be some parts, like Mark says, that intersect in the into society. Every so often it'll intersect with
Mhm.
society, but for the most part you still need to have your normal set, who you are, what you do, what you stand for, what you don't stand for, whatever that is, and we're supposed to respect one another's normal.
That is really becoming an interesting conversation. People have gotten where they just feel it's okay to be disrespectful and
Even if
intolerant.
you don't agree with my normal, okay, not a problem, but you're supposed to, okay, is that anyway?
But I
It's
will defend to the death your right to say it. I
right.
may not agree with what you say, but I will defend
I
your
will
right
defend
to
your
say it.
right to say it. You can say what you want. I may not agree with you, and it's okay. You don't, yeah. I need to respect your normal. You need to respect my normal.
And we need to be aware of what our normal is.
Oh, what's normal? Because sometimes you go up in a household and you're doing stuff and it's normal for your household. I'm gonna use this analogy here. Michael Vick got in
Mm,
trouble for um,
dog fighting.
dog fighting, but that was normal in his neighborhood.
Mm,
It
mm,
wasn't normal for the bigger part of society. And
Mhm.
people are appalled. Oh my gosh, they're fighting dogs, and okay. But in his neighborhood, that was normal. There's stuff that happens in all around the world that we would not consider normal. How and gasp and clutch your pearls and like, oh, how dare they do that?
You know, because and it's just so interesting because when you said that, what came to my mind was how people want to break up dice games on the street, but we go to the casino and they
And
throw
throw
dice. Okay,
Oh,
and
it's
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 okay.
okay. It's okay to throw the dice in the casino, but not on the street.
Not on the corner. You know what I'm saying? For money.
Mm.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, because the people at the casino just get a larger piece of your money
They
when.
got a license,
Oh.
but they're only licensing a limited number of people.
Mm.
But Boo Boo been running the dice game on that corner for 50 years.
Mark has a question. Oh, wait, he's got two comments. Hold on, let me go back to this one.
Oh, I
One
didn't
of the
see.
greatest challenges to succeeding in life is understanding yourself, your perimeters, your norms, and what
Mhm.
will work and what will not work within that context to create the life you desire.
Mhm.
It is a lifelong journey and it evolves over time. So much true, Mark. And then the other part of that challenge is learning how to work with others whose norms are different than yours.
And that's what this melting pot is supposed to be about, right?
And see, we've been talking about love at church here lately. Love means that I love you. I don't care what you stand for or don't stand for, but I need to love you, the person.
Mhm.
How do you not do that? Well, I don't like what they did. Okay, no, well, we may not like what they did, but do you love the person? They don't agree with you.
Good morning, Dr. Taji.
Good morning, Dr. T. They don't agree with you. Can you still love them? Can you
And
still
so,
respect them?
mm, mhm.
Respect their opinion, respect the fact that they are not like you, respect their normal? Come on. Okay, that's I think it was Dr. Tachi was saying, if you like it, I love it.
Mhm.
Right? So let people have their norm and still be kind and still.
I think this is something that parents and children really have to work out because parents have big dreams for their children. And when they go down a different path, sometimes it just takes parents to a whole nother level because they had this dream for them for so long. But is it the child's dream?
It's like trying to make a child. I think I watched a movie over the weekend. What was it called? Gifted.
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie, the guy ends up taking on his sister's child because the sister committed suicide. She was a genius and she was a mathematical genius. And
Mm.
she just wanted to have fun and play. But her mom was like, no, we need to do this and you need to solve this problem so you can have your name up on this board of this prestigious mathematical and then possibly get a Nobel Prize and blah, 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 blah. She didn't want to do that. She just wanted
Wow.
to have friends. And she didn't mind being a genius, but she still wanted to have friends.
Yeah.
And so her brother took on um, raising her daughter. And the little girl had been homeschooled. And then the guy said, okay, it was time to put you in school because we want you to be, your mom would have wanted you to have friends and
Be social.
yeah, to be social. And so she put her in school in first grade. And the little girl was very smart. And so she was bored because the teacher is doing 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 3. And she
Yeah.
was like, the little girl was like, and how are we going to do this? And so and she said, so 3 and 3 is 6. And she was bored. So she said, okay, Mary, let me ask you this. And so she asked her a question. And then she said, well, how much is 3 times 172 something? And the little girl went da, 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 and calculated it out. And the teacher was like, wait a minute. The girl was a genius, but her
Mm-hmm.
mom wanted her to have a quote unquote normal life, meaning having fun and having friends, even though that she was a genius.
Which
Oh,
was
come
probably pretty painful for her.
right. And the mom couldn't do it because the mom was like, oh my gosh, and she couldn't live with the fact that she couldn't be who she wanted to be. And she had there was a boy down the street that the mom really liked, and of course mom with the money decided to cut that off, and I cannot have my daughter consorting with the blah blah blah. And so the girl ended up committing suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, she had solved the problem that the mom wanted to get solved. She had solved that problem, but she told her brother under no circumstances are you to let her have that until after she's passed away, because I don't want. But she didn't want her name up on the plaque and all of that. She just wanted to have friends and to enjoy life, and she wanted her daughter to do that as well.
And Mark has a comment.
Okay. It's a long one. This is one of the reasons why I'm a life strategist instead of a coach focused on a single goal. When you show up, all of you shows up with you. It's not checked at the door. Therefore, if you truly want to succeed, you must take your entire life into account to be certain that everything is in harmony to create the life you want. Yes.
I think
Hey,
it's
Dr.
really
Patrick.
important. Um, and I know that you talk about the movie, but I do know a situation where my family doctor forced his son to go to med school, and the son actually committed suicide. He didn't want to do it, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't meet that standard. A lot of
Right.
times our bar is so high and it's in the wrong area that and we're pressing people into our norm. You have to be careful. You need to be compassionate with yourself because they're okay. It's
But trying to
us
push you into this little bottle.
trying to press them into these molds. And so, and then when people don't fit into our mold, we feel that we can just discard them. That's that's
And it's pretty much is what happened in the movie. The grandmother had nothing to do with this child until it came to light that she was a genius, and she said, oh, she was going to live the life that she wanted to live through her daughter. Now she's going to try and get the granddaughter back and try and live that life. I need you to solve this problem
exactly.
for her. So it was really interesting, and I learned a lot from that movie. What is your
Let
norm?
the healing begin.
Stop trying to make other people live your life.
Or feel disappointed when they don't do it and withdraw love and support.
And that's exactly what they did. It took her son to court
Mm-hmm.
to try to get the child from her son, fighting him, and didn't care what the little girl wanted. Mark
Yes.
says the person that shows up as an antithesis of your mom, the one that triggers you, is your
Of the
growth
norm.
opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Then the
Oh, antithesis of your norm.
mm-hmm. Yeah, because and I love that. Isn't that what the Chinese say? Every crisis is really opportunity.
Opportunity. Yeah, it is an opportunity. Okay, let me take a look at this. But I like the fact that I I don't have to fit into someone else's norm. I can be me. I don't have to sew, Terry. I don't have to pull out a sewing machine to be
And I
me.
am okay with it. I have a friend, she quilts. I don't quilt. Quilting involves sewing, but I'm not a quilter. She doesn't condemn me because I'm not a quilter, and I don't condemn her because she is. We accept each other's differences. It's what makes life interesting. It's what keeps us from being AI,
Ooh,
because we never know what the answer is going to be.
right. And everyone has their own internal drive,
Mhm.
something that drives them for certain things. And in the movie, the girl loved math. She said, "I love doing math problems." That's
Mhm.
not me. I'm not loving doing math problems, but she did. But she also wanted to have fun. So it worked out in the end. But Mark says, also, more than not, the thing for which you are most belittled when growing up is often integral to your gift or calling.
This is interesting because I was watching a program um, on aging dot something on PBS, and they were interviewing these people in their 60s and 70s who had become artists. And most of them said the reason they became artists was because they were disabled as children, and they began painting while they were ill, or you know going through surgeries, and so they had long periods of illness. I thought that was interesting, and that they were often um, they spent long periods of time out of school while they were healing, or when they went to school they had braces or different things going on, and they were teased, he says, like he says here, belittled for it. And so they ended up spending time painting or writing, or whatever the artistic talent was, came out in one form or another.
And Dr. Tachi is probably thinking, okay, she's been watching a lot of TV lately. Another movie I just watched yesterday was Girl Interrupted. Now, that movie's been out since 1999. Never saw it. I figure, okay,
Right.
Netflix. Well, the girl is in the movie, and they put her in a, I'm going to call it a sanitarium. They put her in a mental facility
Hmm.
where she really wasn't anything wrong with her. Anyway, the long story is, so the people at school asked her, "So what is your vocation going to be?" She said, "I'm a writer." And the teacher didn't want to hear that. No, no, what are you going to do for a job? What will you do? And they're pressing her. She's 16. No, she's 18 at this time. What are you going to do? And she's like, "I'm going to be a writer." That wasn't good enough for the school counselor or whoever it was. And and so they wrote down something negative on her paper. Doesn't know, doesn't have any idea, because everybody else was going to go to college to become a blah 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 blah. She said, "I just want to be a writer." So what I'm saying is, if your drive is to be a writer, you need to write, because you cannot keep bottled up inside of you the stuff that you're supposed to write down on paper.
Hmm.
It will explode, leak out some kind of way. And it was leaking out in her behaviors. You know what I mean? She was
Hmm.
trying to stuff stuff down, and what she's feeling. I can't do this. Mom and dad only want her to show up for Christmas parties because, oh, here's my daughter. And
Hmm. Hmm.
she wasn't
She was
living her
the
normal.
trophy child.
The trophy child, right? She wasn't living her normal. She
Hmm.
just wanted to be a writer, and she went through a lot of loops and hoops and stuff, um, in and out of the mental institution. Just because she went in, she didn't want to go in. When she got there, she made friends with some of the people that were in there,
Mhm.
But she still didn't fit in there. So there was complications there.
Okay.
Mark says, if you bring forth what is within you, you will bring forth what you bring forth will save you.
I
If
love it.
you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you.
Mm,
Gospel of Thomas.
mm.
What's in you has to come out of you. The thing that is, uh,
The gift, the talent, the
it's
yes,
got to come out. It wasn't meant for you to keep it bottled up.
it's for you to share. So
Mhm.
whatever your normal is, we want to encourage you to share that normal with others. And don't be discouraged by the reactions of others who can't accept it.
Who can't see your normal.
Mhm. Or accept your normal.
Mhm.
Mhm. Or
So,
appreciate your normal.
oh, yes, and appreciate your own normal.
Please celebrate yourself.
So that's our coffee conversation for today. We just want to say thank you for checking in with us on this beautiful Monday. And we look forward to connecting with you again. TJ will be here tomorrow.
Mhm.
Um, she will be discussing with us things for all digital marketing and social media strategies. So tune in tomorrow at the same time. Now, you can become a part of the BizChicks community at no cost to you. And you just go to bizchicks.net, or you can go to just text biz to 33777, and we'll be happy to have you a part of this community. We want to help you bring forth whatever is within you. And we also want to help you take the hassle out of your hustle so that you can build a profitable business that's fun to run. So we will see you next time. Dr. Tachi, Mark, thank you so much for spending these few moments of your time with us. We appreciate you and look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Bye bye, everyone. Have a great day.